women who identify as hypervigilant, like I'm in my masculine all the time. I'm always doing, I'm always going, and I don't prioritize feminine energy at all. I don't prioritize receiving or rest or creativity. I look at those things as luxury, privilege, or treats, right? And it's like, we know, like, no, you have to have that too. But if you're in that flow of like, I'm in my hypervigilance, I'm in excess doing, you've just uncovered that you have a superpower. So like hypervigilance and having a lot of masculine energy is a superpower. That means that like you're able to get shit done. And what you want to do is think like, where can I channel this and put some time restraints around it so that I'm not always doing.
So, Jess, when it comes to balancing, using feminine energy, masculine energy, like we hear this topic a lot when it comes to these two things. So first and foremost, on your experience and from your perspective, like can you just give a quick like overview of like what it means to be in your feminine energy versus
Yeah.
masculine energy?
I love this topic because this is so relatable to everyone. So we all, no matter how you identify, male, female, non-binary, and anywhere in between, we all hold femme energy and masculine energy. And when we start thinking about femme and masculine energy just like that, like it's a vibration, it's an energy, we can like begin to use it in a way that's really useful for us and like makes life easier for us instead of feeling like we're bumping up against restrictions, insecurities, just like energy blocks, you know? So I'm going to talk a little bit tarot. In tarot, the Empress card is like the divine feminine, right? It's considered the mother. She's the creator. And what that translates to for us in like everyday life, feminine energy is creativity, which everyone has. So it's singing, it's dancing, it's writing, it's painting, it's having a business idea. The masculine energy, Big Daddy Emperor, right? Aries energy, it's now we're going to do the thing. We're going to put the time on the calendar to make the business plan. I'm going to put the time on the calendar to go to the gym, to attend the dance class. So it's really giving, masculine energy is giving structure or a container or like clear expectations or boundaries, support around that feminine energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like that you
Totally.
you pointed out a distinction there, the structure versus the doing. Because I think I equate masculine energy a lot with the doing, which yes, you are doing, but I like that you point out the structure around how you're gonna execute,
Yeah.
how it's gonna get done, or making sure that it's like on the, like you said, calendar.
Yeah. And to me, that's the first step of doing is when am I going to do it? That to me is always the first step. Because if I don't have a clear when am I going to do it, I'm probably not going to fucking do it. You know, I'm going to find any reason to not do it.
Mhm.
And that's my femme energy being like, I just want to lay in a field and eat a grape and not do. But masculine energy, it is definitely executing. It's the more, right side of the brain, I think, or left side of the brain, left side of the brain, where it's like logic and planning, strategizing, analysis. That is the masculine side. So like getting in the car to go to the class or sitting down to write the business plan, those are examples of action oriented masculine energy. But then it's funny because it's like you need the masculine energy to like properly contain or support the feminine.
Mhm.
So, right before we started recording, you were talking about painting around New Year's, right? And it's
Mhm.
like, so the masculine energy around that activity would have been like, do I have my easel? Do I have my paintbrushes? Do I have the paint actually set up
Mhm.
around this so that I can sit down and then flow? So your
Ah.
masculine energy is going to make your feminine energy feel so safe and get into that flow state easier, better, faster. And that's for anything. Business owners, content creation, marketing, dance class, fitness plans, cooking, whatever.
Ah. We're always using it. We're always using both.
I love how you like compared it to painting because painting is a creative activity. And being I'm a creator, Pisces.
Yes.
Hello, shout out. I'm always creating, right? I'm always like wanting to create. And for me, it feels so soothing. But when it comes to the strategy part of things, I sort of like I don't love it.
Mhm.
Like strategizing things. I'm like, I'd rather just play. But I find that when I do that, I'm all over the place. I'm like doing
Yeah.
this, like I'm doing multiple things at once and I have no real structure. I have no real like roadmap to
Mhm.
where I'm going. But that creation does light me up. But it can also make you feel really exhausted when
Yeah.
you're constantly creating, right?
Yeah.
So is there like some kind of I don't want to say routine or
Mhm.
like
Strategy.
habit that you should that you should adopt as a creator
Mhm.
that doesn't really love doing that stuff but needs to do it for their business but
Mhm.
also needs kind of like that balance of like do you know what I'm saying? I don't know
Yeah,
if you understand what I'm
100%.
saying.
Before you
Yeah,
even
it's like
finish the
really
sentence,
hard for myself to understand myself.
I got
So
you. We can just sit here in silence and we'll all
okay.
communicate with
Okay.
one another.
Yeah. I'm just talking for myself right now and other creatives who are
I
having a
get it.
hard time. Yeah.
Okay. One word for this. Please, everyone at home, grab a notebook. The word is bribery. And I'm
Oh,
not kidding, especially for anyone who is a little neurospicy. I have a very spiced brain over here. So the attention span can be derailed or I can get like super hyper focused, but then there's like a burnout, you know? So incentivizing any sort of structure with whatever it is that you like to do. So I love tarot reading, right? I have to do other business shit though too. I have to like sit down and look at numbers. I have to plan what day am I doing what's on my calendar today. So I like to use like a scattered system of this work block is all it's just creativity. 90 minutes or 2 hours of just tarot reading. Then I take a break and I switch. So I'm like task switching in
okay.
my brain of like now I'm going to go for a walk or have a tea, grab a coffee, eat something. And then the next work block I go into, kind of like a palate cleanser, right? The next work
Mhm.
block I go into might be the things that I'm like pushing off a little bit, but I know at the end there's going to be like a little bribe or a little treat for me, whether that's like whatever. Well, let's not get into my bribes, but using using some sort of like incentivization so that you are like, I'm just going to sit down and do this for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. And then I'm going to give myself something at the end. It sounds so juvenile, but there's like something Pavlovian about our brain where like the more you positively reinforce it, the easier the thing becomes that you
Um,
have initial resistance towards. That
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
love that. Yeah, I
That's
really
so
love that.
good.
It's like that
Yeah.
reward system. All of
Yeah.
our brains operate that way, right?
100%. That's why we're
So
all addicted to social media. We're getting dopamine hits every 30 seconds. We have to like learn how to give ourselves a different like analog dopamine hit, something like
yeah.
off the phone, you know?
Okay, love
Yeah,
that.
which is
Write this
painting.
down, guys, because this is
Yeah.
good. This is a really good one.
Bribery.
Yeah.
Bribery, right? Whatever you do with a child or a pet, do it with yourself.
So I have this other thing. So for Sherry, she's very much like in her creativity, and she's not so much someone who loves strategy,
Mhm.
structure, organization. However, that's like my jam. So I'm
Mm,
very much like masculine energy,
yeah.
strategy, structure, organize, planning, all the things. But I also have learned to step more into my feminine energy too. And so I've learned over the years to go from masculine full on masculine energy to also stepping into feminine energy. But then when I was like learning to really step in my feminine energy, I found that I was like really heavily in my feminine energy where I was like getting nothing done. I was
Yeah.
just meditating, doing all the
Totally.
things like but then I came back to like a good balance, we'll say. But now where I'm at like currently, I find that sometimes it can be a little bit challenging when it comes to, um, no like being too much in feminine energy versus being too much in masculine energy and finding that like proper flow. But before I dive into that, I actually want to just speak more to like that masculine side because I'm sure there's a lot of women as well who operate and really thrive in that masculine energy, but then also like missing some of those like parts of like harnessing the feminine energy and that flow and the pros of being able to have the balance of both. So can we maybe hop in right
Yeah.
in there?
I love this. Okay. Before I before I was doing tarot and had my own businesses, I was in sales. And before I was in sales, I was a special ed teacher in New York City. And one thing I learned was there is no bad behavior. Behavior wants to be redirected, right? So like moms out there know, teachers out there know, behavior just needs to be redirected. It's okay to be angry. Let's give you a place to be angry and a way to express that anger instead of like tearing down Miss P's walls, right? Like we just want to redirect the energy. So it's like excess feminine. It's actually, that's not bad behavior, and excess masculine, it's not bad behavior, right? So just like initially taking the shame out of that and then determining like, I have this, let me talk to hypervigilance first, right? So any women who identify as hypervigilant, like I'm in my masculine all the time. I'm always doing, I'm always going, and I don't prioritize feminine energy at all. I don't prioritize receiving or rest or creativity. I look at those things as luxury, privilege, or treats, right? And it's like, we know like, no, you have to have that too. But if you're in that flow of like, I'm in my hypervigilance, I'm in excess doing, you've just uncovered that you have a superpower. So like hypervigilance and having a lot of masculine energy is a superpower. That means that like you're able to get shit done. And what you want to do is think like, where can I channel this and put some time restraints around it so that I'm not always doing. And those really hypervigilant women, great business owners, right? Like you're going to be able to get the shit done that needs to get done. But like finding, where can I redirect this energy so that it's helpful and useful versus like burning me out or like making me not experience the other side of life? And I would say the same with like any excess femme. Sometimes we kind of got to like swing that pendulum. So if you, it makes sense to me with like that you were in excess masculine energy and then you swung over to excess feminine. I have a very similar journey as you. And it's like, well, this is just balancing out what happened. It's just balancing out what you experienced. So it's like, you kind of deserve all this too. And then at some point, we're going to like come back and sway back and forth in the middle. We're not going to land in the middle. We're going to like literally, as the universe expands and humans ebb and flow, we're just going to ebb and flow back and forth. Sometimes we'll be a little bit more masculine. Sometimes we're going to be a little bit more feminine. But finding pockets, activities, tasks, time blocks of like, this is where my masculine energy is going to go and it's going to make me successful. This is where my feminine energy is going to go and it's going to make me feel creative, fulfilled, happy. Not because you have to earn that shit. No one has to earn that shit. That's like something I feel like comes up for a lot of hypervigilant women or women recovering from being in masculine energy all the time. You don't have to earn soft. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to earn play. You are a human that deserves to feel that now and have that now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I really love, Jess, that you pointed on you don't have to earn it and talking about receiving. I was out for dinner the other day with a girlfriend of mine, and she was talking about this new um, person that she's dating and how she was just like how she's a giver. Naturally, she's just a giver. Very, very hard for her to receive. And so she was saying in this one instance, she's like, I feel like I'm messing this up because I'm not allowing myself to receive what they're giving me. And I was saying to her, maybe what you can do is try practicing receiving like small things. So if someone gives you a compliment, if somebody gifts you, I don't know, brings you a coffee or there's certain things like that, practicing receiving, thank you, accepting it. But I think there's a lot of I don't want to say a lot of women, but I think there are women out there, myself included. I've had to learn how to step into receiving and knowing that I'm worthy and deserving of receiving without having to give in return or, this ticked for tact kind of
Yeah.
energy, right? Transactional, we'll say. What can you speak to for the women out there who are like struggling with like receiving and being able to be in that energy of receiving and feeling worthy and like deserving too.
Okay. This is so wild because this is like my life too. It's so crazy. I had to like learn how to do this. And I'm going to speak from my therapist's mouth. So get this approved by your therapist, but I'm sure your therapist will approve. Sometimes we have to ask, this is uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to ask, whose voice is in my head saying that I have to perform for love? Whose voice is in my head saying I have to perform to receive? Where did I learn? That's hard. Like, where did I learn this? Because that's not innate. You learn that somewhere. So thinking back to where the pattern began of like, in order to receive, I have to do this first. Or what's your friend sounds like, I'm going to give so that I don't have to be vulnerable in receiving because maybe that wasn't safe. Maybe being vulnerable wasn't safe. Maybe receiving wasn't safe for one reason or another, verbally, emotionally, physically, whatever. But like that's how like real change sticks is like when you get to the root and realize like, oh, this is a condition I learned. This is a construct that I've absorbed. It's not actually my truth because the truth is y- everyone deserves to receive. And everyone, if you feel like giving, deserves to give too. But any sort of like resistance to receiving and really wanting to, it's like, oh, there's a deeper thing here. And it's
Mhm.
fixable and it's tweakable. But like the advice you gave, that's such perfect advice. Like starting small, accept the coffee, accept the compliment. How many women do we know? We like offer a compliment. You look beautiful today. I love your curls today. I love your earrings today. You have a beautiful voice. I love listening to you. And people are so quick to be like, "Oh, no, let me shift it away from me,"
Mhm.
or like, let me give you a compliment back. That's a nice tricky one. Let me give you a compliment back so that now the focus is off me, which
Mhm.
is funny and cute, but it seems to like indicate to me there's a discomfort in that
Yep.
vulnerability, in that witness, in that seeing, in that receiving?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can relate to
I
that.
was just going to ask Sherry what you were thinking because your face was doing truth again.
My face of truth, it tells all, tells all. I have a hard time receiving compliments, but I've had to learn through the years of being a photographer for so many years is to accept it, say thank you, and take it. Because what I used to do is the same thing you were just saying, is like, "Oh, yeah, it's, no big deal." Or
Yeah.
like you said, putting the compliment back on that person or diverting it to a different topic. That would be my go-to at all time, but it stems down from when, you're younger. So, you were often like told this message that, talking about yourself or celebrating yourself was not acceptable. Like
Mhm.
you should be humble. That's how I grew up,
Right.
right? And
Yep.
so even now, like my husband, he does everything for me, and still have a hard time saying thank you. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's like receiving that is super tough for me, um, because I think I spent my whole life just trying to fit in, but not blend in, like, not stand out too
Mhm.
much, but do what I need to do to make others happy,
Yeah.
right? I think a lot of
Magnetism.
women
Mhm.
are doing that, they're fulfilling their dreams, but for other people, not for
Yeah.
themselves at the same time, so that's where, I think a lot of people get burnt out because they don't understand why they're doing it after a little while because all their energy is being poured into what they think other people need versus what
Mm.
they need.
Yep.
And like, yeah, learning that now it's like, okay, now it's about me. Now I need to focus on myself and what I want and how I can create an impact that fulfills both people like equally, right? It's a
Mhm.
give and take. Like receiving, giving. It's not all about giving. It's not all about people pleasing anymore. It's really hard because I don't know if you call that masculine energy though, like being that kind of like hard person to take those things. What would you say
Mhm.
that kind of energy, I don't know if it's masculine or feminine, like
I would
what does that
say
feel
it's
like?
giving can be both, right? Giving can operate in masculine and it can operate in feminine.
Mhm.
I do associate it with masculine energy.
Mm.
So it makes sense when like hypervigilant women have a very hard time receiving. It's like, oh yeah, that's a trait of the masculine energy here.
Mhm.
Sometimes it could be considered a shadow of feminine energy because giving can sometimes be a form of creating, you know?
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
resistance to receiving yeah, that can be like a shadow trait of them. So I kind of actually, just to backtrack a little, I kind of want to ask a question like, you use the word humble,
Mhm.
and I think that that word has been used to keep people small
Mhm.
under the guise of
100%.
this is morally correct. This is
Yeah.
socially admirable. And it's like, well, who the fuck does humble serve actually, though? Tell me who, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if I'm in and you use a great example of like, this is a give and take safe space with a person, reciprocity. Well, if it's a safe space, and Whitley compliments you in the safe space, you're allowed to just take that compliment and be like, wow, thank you. That means something to me. And humility, quote unquote, is not needed there because your friend wanted to give you that and you're allowed
Yeah.
to take that. In that instance, humility, right? Brushing it off for the sake of humility, that's a condition. And it's like, who really serves?
Condition.
And I really would just want to say, like, who benefits from women being humble? Probably insecure people, probably
Mm,
people who don't want to
yeah.
fucking see you shine. So what if we just burn that to the ground? I don't think I believe in it anymore. Humility to me is this acknowledgement of I don't know everything and I fuck up and I'm still allowed to receive a compliment and I'm still allowed to receive a nice testimonial from a client and I'm still allowed to pursue a dream and fumble and stumble as I go. You know, that's
Yeah.
humility to me.
Yeah.
Humility is not deflecting a compliment, resisting a gift, or disallowing people taking care of you. That's shadow. That's a call for help. That's something that we have to heal. And that's okay if you have that. Like, I'm speaking that way. I'm speaking so raw about this because also was there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love that
Such
you
good
you
advice.
it is really good advice. I really love it because I think humility and, humbleness, it gets that those words get thrown around a lot, and
Yeah.
it's you're right. It's like, yeah, reframing how you look at that. Um, Going back to, like, the masculine energy.
Mhm.
So, there's something that I really wanted to point out and would love to hear your perspective on it, Jess. When someone's okay, so I'll use myself as the example of, like, operating in masculine energy. So, somebody who's operated in that energy for most of her life, and then learning to really harness my feminine energy as well. I have also learned over the last year how fucking powerful it is to being able to fully be in your feminine
Mhm.
energy, but then also still using your masculine energy because we still have to use that. But one thing I've learned, and Sherry can speak to this too, but when you allow yourself to be in that feminine energy and you're not constantly in the masculine energy of like doing, controlling, always orchestrating, you allow that space for the universe
Mm, girl,
and your higher self, your inner being,
go
to
Sarah.
co-create and flow and bring and like almost like magnetize. That's the word
Yeah.
I'm going to use. Like
Mhm.
magnetize the things, the people, the opportunities, the right doors, the right rooms to you. And I've learned that firsthand that when I let go of control and I'm not constantly like overdoing and constantly proving and showing up, performing, we'll say,
Right.
constantly performing. And when I take a step back and I really trust and I leave that space open, that like the inspired ideas and actions come through, like
Yeah.
the people, the right
Calming.
things kind of like they line up, right? And it ends up being I have actually ended up doing less and receiving more in the
Well,
last year by learning just that one powerful nuance. So look at you. I know you're
I
like, "Yes."
just
Am
I
I
wanna
speaking your
drink
language right now?
everything
Just
coming out of your mouth. It's so good. What I'm hearing is when you say like, I make space instead of like do, okay, let me make space. So as a human, we have to think like, make space. Okay, I'm going to pause. Let me do less and leave that room for the universe to come in and direct, right? In
Mhm.
neuros, I'm no neuroscientist, but I do love brain facts. In neuroscience, essentially that's saying like you're shutting down the left hemisphere of the brain, the doer, the thinker. You're like saying you take a break and that activates the fem side of the brain, the intuitive side of the brain, the psychic side of the brain, that high priestess energy side of the brain. And when you allow that brain to like listen, which is another form of receiving, that's when you get the creative hit, the intuitive download, the next move. And a lot of times that is like, oh, I'm aligning with the frequency of receiving or this new timeline, this like parallel timeline where all these things can flow in. So it's like in taking that space and allowing the masculine side to sleep for a minute, power down, you're really activating this like intuitive psychic woo woo, but it's right side of the brain. It's the creative side. It's where song lyrics come from. It's where painting ideas come from. It's where your intuitive nudges come from. So you're just operating very much in this like high priestess intuitive way of
Yeah.
being. And
Mhm.
I think that's a gift that you discovered that and then have tangible evidence that that works.
Mhm. I like that you say it's neuroscience because a lot of people, like, will be like, "Oh, this is woo-woo, like, I gotta rest." Like, "What do you mean?" You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
been something that has been really hard for me to do, like, just rest. And I'm like, because 'cause I'm always like, "I gotta do something. I gotta create something," right? And it's like, all right, but you need to like listen, you need to listen, you need to listen, but you need to rest.
Mhm.
And I think that it's not woo woo. It's not some magic spiritual thing. It is neuroscience. Like our brain needs to we need to have those downloads
Yeah.
through rest. And like when we have too much going on, overthinking, we start to think about things that are kind of coming from a place of like desperation or urgency.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's like, I need to control it. And then that causes burnout, right? Because a lot of people are like going, going, going. And they're like, yeah, I haven't given myself the space to flow within
Mm.
my rest or my feminine energy. Like I'm just going, going, going. And so for people that are constantly going and they're like, I'm just pushing against a brick wall. I don't know where I'm going. Um, they're I feel like they're not you can speak to this, like, they're not listening to what it is their soul really needs in that
Mhm.
moment, and their brain needs to tell them, like,
Mhm.
the other side of their brain, right?
Yeah.
The right side of their brain, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a space, I think, that you were talking about earlier. It's, like, giving yourself that space to listen, but, like,
Mhm.
what do you say for people that are like, "I can't just sit. I can't just wait. And what am
Mhm.
I listening to?"
Yeah. I don't I love that's such a good question. People who experience restlessness or initial resistance towards napping, laying, meditating, go for a walk so that
Mhm.
you're still moving. Go for a walk and you can listen to nature, right?
Yeah.
Or you can pop a podcast in or whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It literally actually doesn't matter what you listen to. Go for a walk, listen to something because you are activating rote memory. That's what walking and like long drives, you're in rote memory, meaning like you don't have to actively consciously think about what you're doing. Your body just gets into a flow. You're actually
Mhm.
activating that side of the brain.
Yep.
So long drives or walking your body in any way, shape,
Mhm.
or form, even though it's a physical activity, so like masculine, right? It gets into a flow where you don't have to think about it so that the masculine side, that left side, turns off and the right side turns on. So if like
Mhm.
laying and meditating or painting and journaling is too hard, totally get it. Go for a walk.
Mhm.
Walking is probably one of the strongest ways you can receive organic downloads,
Yeah.
if not like the best way to receive
Yeah.
organic downloads.
It's like getting out
I
of your environment
100%.
too, right? Like, because sometimes
Yeah.
we can get
Yeah.
cooped up in our own environment
Yeah.
and switching up the routine or changing up the habits that we do. Maybe if you don't walk, Whitley just said she just started painting. Like, that's something new. Maybe trying
Yes.
something new
Trying
Yes.
something new.
to
Yeah.
maybe you'll find that creative download. Like, go to yoga. I don't know, like do something different for yourself that is like, oh, maybe I didn't notice this before. I didn't know that I could find joy in this thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a hobby, but it's a new hobby,
Totally.
something new for you. You know?
It's very
That's so
true.
true.
Yeah. And
So
I
true.
would 100% agree with you on that, Jess, is walking.
Mhm.
Walking is the number one way that I always can find myself back to my inner being, like my inner self, and just like a state of groundedness. But I will say, mainly, I would say about like 98% of all of my ideas, downloads have come from going out and walking.
I
And
believe
it's
Mhm.
it.
so powerful, so
Mhm.
powerful. So,
Yeah.
and then to Sherry's point, like those creative outlets, like trying those new things, I think are also just as powerful too. But walking's such a simple thing. It's so
And
simple.
it's free. Everyone can do it. You don't it's like everyone can walk, even if you live in the hustle and bustle of a city, put your headphones in and go for a walk. Everyone can go for a walk, right? Um,
Not in the
the other
winter.
thing yeah, I know. Um, the other thing I was thinking as you were talking about, like, what about yoga though, right? Or painting. Um, there's some neuroscience that's coming out around the benefits of dance, and I know you guys have been seeing me, like, do my
Love
thing.
it. I love it.
Um and how dance is a somatic release. So somatic release is when like the stress and wounding that we carry in our body, the memory of like insecurities and
Ooh.
resistance and like pain from the past, it holds memory in our body even if we can't like consciously access it, right? Dance will somatically release that without you having to think about it. And then at the same time, you're activating that right side of the brain, that feminine side of the brain, that intuitive side of the brain. And because you can't really think about anything else except like, where am I putting my foot? How am I turning? You're just thinking about like in the moment doing this thing. So it kind
Yeah.
of frees up that overthinking, that over
Right.
excess, like I'm hitting a brick wall. It like gives you a break from that while also like benefiting your body, benefiting your vagus nerve, benefiting your system overall. So like another form of activating creativity or just like new lanes of like problem solving can come from dance, and any form of dance, doesn't matter what kind you pursue.
I
I like
think you're
that.
right on that too, Jess, is like, um, you hit the nail on the head with one thing you said, and I forgot what it was. We're gonna edit this out. Um,
Don't edit it out. I love it.
Yeah,
It's so real.
this is exactly, this is the
what?
real
Okay, I
real
will.
deal.
I wasn't feeling well today. That's why my brain is not working. But
I'm so
I was like,
sorry.
I'm not missing this podcast, so we're here. And
And you look
literally,
great.
like an
So
hour before this podcast, I was gonna throw up. Like I was so
oh,
not feeling good, but I was like, I'm not missing this.
you're
I
a
did
champ.
some Reiki on myself, and I was like, you get in that, get in there.
That's like some athletic shit that you just did. That's like Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Like, I'm bleeding.
Okay,
I'm going this way.
wait. Can we go into Taylor Swift for a minute? Okay.
Any excuse to talk about her, please.
Okay, this documentary was mind-blowing to me. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't listen to her music much. But when I watched this Eras Tour documentary, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Because she has a mix of both masculine and feminine energy. Like it's such a combination that creates magnetism for her and her fans, like her
Mhm,
audience. They're just drawn into her. And now I can see why.
mhm,
Because at first I was like, I ain't putting no
mhm.
celebrity on a pedestal,
I
you
get it.
know?
Yep.
But I can see why she is so magnetic
Yeah.
after watching this. So can you what are your thoughts on this? I know you have a lot.
Great example. It's just such a great example. And like, same thing. I never identified as a Swiftie. No shade to the Swifties. I totally get it. Go off. I support you. I just was like, she's got bangers and I like sing them, but like, I didn't have a connection to her.
Mhm.
I watched this docuseries and I was like, oh, this person has mastered the art of being herself. And that means her feminine, just like you said, her feminine and masculine energy. What does she love to do? Write music. That's all that girl wants to do. That's all that woman wants to do is write music
Yeah.
and have it for herself and share it with people who like it. That's all she wants to do. And she's like honest about it. She's so vulnerable about it. She's like, this is what I'm obsessed with doing. And I'm always going to do this thing. And she lets that feminine energy exist and that vulnerability and witness of like, this is the thing I want to do. And this is what I'm good at. So I'm going to do it. And then applies masculine energy to make it the
Mhm.
most successful possible. And
Yeah.
that's like routine, working out, vocal training. She commits like an athlete to like, how can I make this experience for people? How can I commit to structures and training to make this the best experience possible for them? But also, and she doesn't say this in words, but she says at one point, actually, I think she goes, I'm so proud. And it's like, girl, you should be proud. You just did something phenomenal. And I think any professional or artist can appreciate
Mhm.
the balance of the creation and the talent balanced with what it takes to make it work. And
Mhm.
that's really entrepreneurship too.
Yeah. You said something in one of
Ooh,
your readings or
so good.
recently about it too. She said a line at the end.
Oh
What
yeah.
was that line?
To the dancers. And
Oh,
she was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she was speaking to her dancers who are, oh my God, phenomenal.
I know.
We could do a
Whitley,
podcast
if
on
you
them.
haven't watched it, go watch it. It's
Oh
so
I
my
need
good.
God,
to
please
watch
do
this.
watch.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll co-watch it with you. I'll literally turn it on at the same time and I'll just leave the DMs open if you want. I swear to God.
Love
It's
It's just
that.
so good. I'll watch it
Netflix
again
watch
too.
party?
It's so good.
so I've
It's
watched
so
it 3
good.
times already because I'm just so inspired again by like what we're talking about of like, wow, you really did something that shows us it's possible. So she
Mm.
says to her dancers at the end, everyone is jealous of where you are today and what you have, right? This like out of this world experience they just had worldwide. And she's like, and no one is jealous of what it took for you to get here. And I was like, damn if that's not true. Is like we see the sparkles and the sequence and the playfulness, but we don't see the heartbreak and all the times that they were told their body wasn't right and their dancing was to this and it's not possible for you, or you're like you don't see all of the grit and the getting up after being knocked down over and over and over and over again. You don't see that part, right? You just see the success. And people are like, I want that. And that's cool. That's cool to want that. You should want that for you. That's beautiful. I'm never going to yuck somebody's desire for whatever you want. You want sequins, you want fame, you want notoriety, you want to be like the face of a business. Beautiful. You're allowed to want it. There's no shame in that. And also, if you want to achieve it, that's a different thing. And to achieve it, you have to apply masculine energy without burning it out. Like gasoline in a car is like, when am I gonna use this energy? How am I gonna use this energy to allow the feminine energy of the creation of the business to keep going? And like finding that sweet spot is everyone's journey, but she just showed us like how possible it is, you know?
I'm having such a profound, like, light bulbs are going off in my brain right now.
And you haven't even watched the docuseries.
Haven't even watched it yet. Jess, we're going to have a watch party. Okay, so what you just described, and this is something that I have locked in on. And I think this is where I equate much of my success and how, like, where I've come from into where I am today is based on that masculine energy, that pure grit, get back up after I've fallen like a million times. But now my body, my nervous system is just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I can't operate this way anymore. But one thing I'm realizing right now, especially in this conversation, is like, I've never found that sweet spot between the femme and the mask for myself personally. It's always just been mask, like pushing, going. But that is not sustainable long term. It isn't. And I've come to that part in that journey in my life right now where I'm like, it's not sustainable and I really won't fucking go. Like I won't operate that way. My body will not allow it. But I've been learning that there's this beautiful like dance when you really can step into the femme and find that sweet spot, like you said, with the femme and the mask. Because yes, you're right. You can want all these things for your life and have this sort of like dream life. But it is going to require you to have that discipline, to show up, do the work, and to hone it in and craft that talent or that skill set, whatever it takes. But I think there's something else there that you said. I'm having some real time like epiphanies right now, my guys. So don't mind me. There's like this piece where you said your authentic self. I think you said it, Jerry, like one of you guys did. But it's learning how to be authentically and unapologetically you, fully you, but also learning how to balance the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Because like you said, Jess, neither one are bad. Like neither one are bad. And I think it might look a little bit different for everybody. There's no like one size fits all for this, but I think it's like learning how to master yourself. And that is also involving the feminine energy, the masculine energy, but also showing up unapologetically and authentically yourself. And I think that's where authentic power is born.
Amen.
Damn.
Amen.
That's
Did
it.
I just like
Oh,
put
welcome to
something-
Whitley's TED Talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
Channel the shit out of that.
You channeled.
I don't know if this is vibing with you guys, but I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm having an
100.
epiphany
No,
myself right
it's
now.
so vibing.
It's so true.
vibing.
One thing I want to say for anyone who's listening who is an aspiring business owner or like you're in the throes of the beginning stages, right? First 5 years at some point, somewhere in there. Part of this process is eliminating the concept of cringe. And this also might sound like juvenile, but I'm noticing it with clients of like, there's like there's a fear or a resistance of like being seen online, being seen as whatever, silly, not good enough, cringy. And it's like, well, to become, we got to just like move past that. And like like your biggest strength will be when you're building your business, showing up and being visible and being creative and taking risks anyway, and adopting the belief that like anyone who's cringing at what you're doing, they're probably not fucking doing anything. To be honest with you, like as someone who used to cringe at a lot of shit, I was cringing from the comfort of my couch after my 10-hour workday watching reality TV. I wasn't living. I was watching people live you know, which is like this American pastime, unfortunately. But like getting over that hump of like, what will people think? Is this not good enough? Is this cringe? Let it dissolve and just like do
Yeah.
the thing anyway and like mark it as I get a gold star because I did it. And it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what it looks like in the beginning. Like just do it. Just take the leap, make the video, post the YouTube, make the podcast, create the marketing, and it'll get better as you go. I think it's just most important, especially for women in this like humility and also afraid of cringe. It's like just do the thing, just go. And this is like a side note kind of from what we were talking about, but it just popped in my head and I just want everyone to just fucking do it and care less about what everyone else is thinking. Because the people who are also doing
Yeah.
what you're doing, they're gonna appreciate the hustle of ignoring the cringe. They're gonna like appreciate like, hey, this person's taking a risk. Hey, this person's showing up so much. Hey, this person's trying something new. They're gonna appreciate that, you know? The right
Yeah.
people will appreciate that.
I want to share something with that because you just gave me a whew, aha moment, as Oprah would say. Um, so going back to Taylor Swift, the intention behind why she's doing all that she's doing is for the experience of her fans and for herself, right? I think it comes back down to authenticity, which would Lee said, but like also the intention when you show up online. And I think for so many years, when I first started coming online, I thought I just had to show up online and I was performing. It was all a performance,
Yeah.
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
That's the difference between showing up as yourself and not, because the thing is like you want to attract the people that are going to align with you and let the others go. Like just let it go. Because at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna like you. And we need to know that, right? Right off the bat. But if I like myself and I show up as myself and the people that want to be around me want to be around me, that's great. Like we
Right.
align. Yeah, you're my people. So yesterday something cool happened. I was at the gym and I was leaving, and this girl that goes to the gym, I don't see her, I don't talk to her very often because the gym is packed and I know her, but I don't really talk to her. And she came up to me while I was getting my car and she was like, "Hey, Sherry, I have to tell you something." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, I know you left wedding photography and I know you're going into marketing and I know you also what you said about your identity not aligning with the same person you were and the people because you've left that aligns with me because I was a teacher, blah, blah, blah. And
Wow.
she's like, "But I also want you to know that people are watching,
Mm.
what or not."
Goosebumps.
Yeah. And I said, "Thank you." Right? Humble me. I said, "Thank you." Right? I said, but it was eye-opening because you don't know who's watching and
Yeah.
the right people they're not going to always like your stuff. They're not always going to engage with your content or like share it or comment. They're not going to always do that, but they're still watching, right?
100%.
And the people who think you're cringe, bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Bye. Right? It's
Yeah.
just the way, and sometimes people cringe us. Like I cringe at people.
Listen,
We all do it. We're
I have a
human.
tarot channel on YouTube. I'm positive my entire past life of friends is like, what the fuck did she turn into? You know? And I think that's like a good sign. That's a good sign because that means you're being yourself. You know? It's like if
Yeah, and
something means it's
yeah. The more you step into yourself though, the easier it becomes. Because if
Mm.
the more you try to be somebody else or perform like the people online, like
yeah,
try to show up as influencers and do it that way and do it this way, you're not aligning with the people that you need to align with, and you're not getting comfortable with who you are, and your intention is being lost. Your
right,
why is lost. You lose yourself. You lose why you started it in the first place. So
right.
like that's one message that I have
I
for
love that
people.
so much. It's real. The authenticity, it's so real. The non-performative and allowing the mask to drop. And I do think it's scary too. And it's okay for it to feel scary. Um, when I first started YouTube, and you guys just see my hands and the cards, you know?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, they're gonna make fun of my fingers, which is like,
Yeah.
can we not? But
I
that was
know.
real. That was
I
real.
know. That's real stuff. You're
Yeah.
right. You
Yeah.
cringe at yourself. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, wear a longer sleeve." Like, we don't need to see the dents in your knuckles, but we love them. We're not gonna talk poorly of our hands. Um, it's okay though to do it scared, and, like, that's another
Yeah.
thing is, like,
yeah.
show up authentically, and it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to get 0 views, it's okay to get 0 likes. The metric that we should all be using in business, at least for the first 5 years, is, like, am I showing up and doing it according to me? and
Mhm.
speaking to the ideal aligned person that I know I can serve.
Yeah.
If you're doing
Mhm.
that, you're winning. It's working. It's happening.
Yeah. It's all
Yeah.
about that intention. Yeah. You're
And
right.
it's gonna connect you, like you said, Sherry, you're like, if you're it's like it's filtering people out and like when you're being
Yeah.
yourself, then you're gonna be more connected to your why, it's more intentional. And it's interesting because I like my stepson, he was here just the last week and he's in university. Anyways, we always have our deep, like philosophical conversations. And he was telling me about a friend group that he no longer vibes with. And he said, I think I've come to the realization that that friendship I was like showing up not myself in those friendships.
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, that's really good information, Hugh. Like that gives you an understanding of where that friendship lies." And I just, I said to him, when you show up as your authentic self and you're being who you are, you're literally being a filter for everything in your life. So
Mhm.
anybody who doesn't vibe with the real you is not your person. They're not for you.
Mhm.
And so the
Yeah.
more that you show up as your most authentic self, the real you, the quicker your filtration system is working in your favor. You're filtering out the people, you're filtering out the noise, you're filtering out like literally everything that is not a vibrational match to you. And what happens is that puts you on the highest timeline that is the most aligned to your
Mhm.
highest self so much quicker.
Oh
And so
my
you
god.
begin to manifest, magnetize, bring everything to you
Yes.
so much
Yeah.
faster. But the thing is, people are constantly filtering themselves versus allowing themselves be the true filter, right?
That's brilliant, and I feel like to bring it back to fem and masculine energy, when you do that, when you do what Whitley just said, it's
Mhm.
easier to hear which mode do I need to go in. Your insides are gonna tell you, "Create this thing, implement this way." It's gonna be easier to, like, shift gear into fem and masculine. The more real we are,
Mhm.
those 2 energies are gonna it's gonna be heard inside, and we won't have to, like, be so cognitively conscious of, like, "Am I leaving space? Do I need to do more? Should I rest now?" And it's like, wait, if we just, like, come into the natural frequency, that's gonna be made clear for us.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. So good.
This
So
is
good.
so good. Like, I feel like I have so many thoughts in my head, but my brain isn't braining because,
You need
But, like,
rest.
wait, can I ask you, at the top,
yeah.
you had said that, you don't love strategy, like, you don't love that aspect of business. Can you tell me more about that
Yeah.
resistance?
Yeah, it's something that I feel like strategy feels too far-fetched a little bit. Like, it's like, if I put stuff on paper, I'm actually gonna implement it, right?
Mm,
And I think a lot of well, Whitley and I have been working really well together because she's a strategist and I'm a creative. And
right.
so when she does things, it doesn't hurt her head. When I do it, it hurts my head, right? And my head needs a Band-Aid. And and I'm like, "I can't take it anymore," and I get burned out from it because
Right.
I think and I am proud of myself when I get through a hump of, like, learning stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm learning this." I still don't like it. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally.
So, yeah, I think that part kind of, like, intimidates me, number 1. I don't feel like I'm smart enough,
Mm,
because I've always been a creative, but I have ran successful businesses, so I know I have strategy.
yeah.
So, I think it's just in a different kinda way, I guess. But when it
Mhm.
comes to online and, like, strategizing like, a plan, it's hard for me to put things down on paper that look like a cohesive what do you call it? Like, A to Z. It's going
Yeah.
here, and then this is going there. It's hard for me to map it out.
But
So,
Sherry,
yeah.
you're a doer. The thing is, like
Yeah,
here's the thing with
I am a
Sherry, if
doer.
she has the idea or she wants to do something, she doesn't think about it. She just does it. She doesn't sit there and
Mm,
map out a plan. She doesn't strategize. She just implements. She
superpower.
goes from idea to implementation. And I'm actually learning a lot from her because for me, I'm the planner, like let's get a strategy. Let's create the 1 year goal,
Yeah,
all those
but I
things.
feel you
Whereas
can get
she
lost in that, like, just sitting with the plan.
and that's the thing too, you're right. Like there's like a balance that you have to find, but you're more of like you come up with the idea and you execute. But I think it's like but I come in and I'm like, all right, let's organize our shit. Like with you and I being in business, we have shit that's we have systems and
Yeah.
process, which is
I'm
great because
learning.
when we
I'm
scale and
learning.
we scale
Beautiful.
our teams, we're gonna have that, right? But like she's teaching me too. So it's like it's interesting. It's just interesting how like
Yeah. This
yeah.
Yeah.
is that's so real too. It's so good. You guys are very Cancerian in the dynamics that you guys have, like this yin and yang. You complement each other with your skill sets. Um,
Yeah.
and it's so I bet you so many people relate to both sides of like what
Mhm.
you described. I subscribe to the concept of I'm gonna make a business plan for the year and I'll have it, I have it, but, like, I'm also just gonna I feel like I go into Sherry mode where I'm like, "And now I'm gonna move forward kind of from the plan, but, like, I might shift and create something else and, like, end
Right.
up in a different place at the end of the year, but the plan is there if I need it," if I need to, like, step back
Yeah.
and be like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" It's the plan is there.
Yeah.
I love
So
that. That sounds so much like you, Sherry, versus but you don't have the
yeah.
plan.
She's
You're
a
just like
Pisces, so
y yeah, 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 but I can see, Jess, how you and Sherry relate on, you know what, like, I'm gonna actually leave that room again, that's
Yeah,
feminine
yeah,
energy and co-creation. I'm gonna leave space for the universe to come in and give me downloads. I'm gonna leave
yeah,
space for things to, like, flow and stuff versus if you get too much into sticking to a plan, you're becoming controlling and rigid, and
yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
that
Setting
can
on the
also
outcome, right? Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, and that can also kinda, like, deter you from receiving something even better
mhm,
or having a different,
mhm,
like, vehicle to getting to that ultimate outcome too, right? So
yeah,
it's coming back to, like, figuring out, like, like, to find that flow of what works best. Because I don't think
Yeah.
it is a one size fits all. Like, gone are the days where it's like, "Here's the strategy you should follow, and this is how it
mm-mm,
has to be
yeah,
done." Like, no,
yeah,
everybody's
no,
different, and
totally,
And there is
yeah.
no balance of masculine and feminine, I don't think. I think it's, like, what
right,
works for you, like,
flow,
as an individual,
mhm,
right? Because some
Yeah.
days I might be more feminine than I wanna be masculine. I might just wanna vegetate and do my thing.
yeah.
I love
Even,
that.
like, I would even say, like,
Today.
sometimes seasons or quarters are, like, a little bit more femme or a little bit more masculine, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So wait, I just remembered thinking of like the energies and stuff you mentioned earlier about tarot
Yeah,
and for the 2026
yeah,
energy.
Ooh, can we do that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I think you like, the other day, Whitley and I were talking about business stuff,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Alright, Whitley, while you're doing your 2026 planning, writing down all your shit, I'm gonna pull a tarot card." So I
I
pulled
love
the
that you did that.
Empress card, the feminine card.
And is that, like, your card for the business, like, for the
That
year or
was
for that day?
Yeah, that was for what we were planning to do next.
I
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If
That's
that's not a
good too.
sign, I don't know what is.
it was a sign. It's a sign, the
Okay.
I
sign give me a
saw the
sign, the sign is
sign.
a sign.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull a card for us, but before I do that, I did wanna just talk about this is our, like, collectively,
Oh.
this is the card of the year, the Magician. The reason it's the card of the year is because 2026 breaks down to a 1, in numerology, if you add up the digits, it breaks down to 1.
Mhm.
The Magician is such a good energy. We're coming out of a Hermit card year, which is very, like, reflective, introspective, alone, quiet, meditative, um, kinda, like, been through a journey of collecting wisdom, which usually means, like, you've been through some shit, experiences. Whereas the Magician is, like, ripe with life. He's got all of the aces on his altar, so the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, on top of this belief that, like, if I believe in the universe and myself and use what I have on my altar, I actually can co-create with the universe this desired
Mm.
manifestation, desired reality, a desired timeline. So it's not just writing down like a manifestation wish list, it's saying the thing, I want this, I want to experience this, and then taking what you have at your disposal to make it happen and trusting that the universe is going to insert itself when it needs to help you. So this
I
is like a
love that.
very it's magic energy, but it's like a reminder, like, you're actually the magic, It's
Mhm,
like,
That's
mhm.
a
you can
beautiful
actually
card
I
too.
love this deck, the Astro Matrix. I love this deck.
It is a beautiful
Mm.
card.
Mm,
I
and
feel
then
like
So colorful. Love it.
it
yeah,
is too. That's interesting because what I take from that is that we're entering an era where we have everything, we have all the resources, we have everything to make it happen. So just
Mhm.
go out and make it happen. So it's almost
mhm,
like go and do. put that masculine energy to work, but also leave space
Yeah,
for the universe to come in and
that's it.
co-create alongside.
That is so it. The magician card is often depicted as like a traditional male, but he's someone who operates in both, just like what we were talking about all day today. Is like he uses what he has to do, but like you've been saying, he leaves space for the universe up here to like come in, strike lightning, deliver a gift, direct, and that's how this co-creation energy comes
So
into play.
yeah, that's how you use
Love
both
that.
energies when
Yeah,
you're doing.
yeah,
Yeah, because your feminine is like your um guide or what, like your map. You're like
yes.
feeling it. And then as you're doing, you have that North Star, that vision, that
Right.
feeling, and you're able to move more versus just living in a masculine like I have to do.
Hmm.
I have to hustle,
Yes.
right?
I love looking at feminine energy as a GPS.
GPS.
It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah, that's what I meant. GPS.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you
yeah.
and how to get there and, like, different curves and turns you could take, and, like, the masculine is the car itself. It's like,
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm the
yeah.
one I'm carrying
Okay,
the sweet
yeah.
baby feminine energy, you know?
That's better GPS. Nobody uses
Yeah,
paper
I like
maps anymore. So
RIP maps. Alright, let me get a card for us. Oh my god, great card. It
uh-huh.
fell on the floor.
Ooh, fallen floor's a good sign.
6 of Wands, babe.
Ooh, that's a
Ooh,
good
wait.
one. Celebration, right?
Yeah,
Victory.
so 6 of Wands is a card of victory and success. It's also a card of, since we're talking about Miss Swift herself, 6 of Wands is a card of community recognition.
Mm.
So if you are on the fence or on some sort of like business journey, aspiring business owner journey, this is the energy of like, if you build it, they will come and you will feel fulfilled and others will experience some sort of benefit or joy from it too. 6 of Wands is a reminder of like, you can experience victory and success and personal satisfaction right where you are, whatever that means, energetically or like geographically. It's like
Yeah.
right where you are with what you've got, you can make it happen. This can be yours. Sixes are all about integration. So it's really like embodying what it is that you've learned and then like allowing yourself to actually be that stuff, be that authentic you, offer that authentic service, launch that authentic social media account, whatever. The 6 of Wands is saying like success is yours. You're just the one that has to do it. And if you do it, they will come. This will come. The laurel is even like kind of this is like a little chosen energy and not chosen in the woo-woo tarot world chosen way, but it's like this laurel is a crown made by the community. So it's like when people come up to you in the community and are like, hey, I just want to let you know I saw your thing and it's helping me with this. That's what that laurel represents is when people
Mhm.
message you or come up to you at the gym and are like, thank you for blah, blah, blah. It's helping me think about things this way. And I think that might be one of the more fulfilling moments we have along the journey is the testimonial of impact, especially when we don't always see it day to day, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And the bottom of the deck is a star card, which is crazy because you just said star energy.
Wow.
Yeah. A star
I
And
energy.
feel like Whitley wants to say something.
Go ahead, girl.
I'm
That's
just
so good.
like again, always blown away by your readings, Jess.
Oh,
Yeah, you said a couple of in that last card. I know it's like that card is for everybody who's listening in, but I'm so resonating with it. Sherry and I, you
yeah.
said a couple of things. You were like, build it and they will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Embodiment, integration, and authenticity. And Sherry and I are like this next thing that her and I are building right now. It's fucking crazy. It's going to be so magical. And everything you just said was like validation, validation, confirmation.
I'm so
Yeah, it's
glad.
like you're private reading us.
Oh, I love this. This card is also like I don't know if you've heard me talk about the star card on YouTube. She's normally naked. She's got a little Xena warrior princess thing going on here, but typically she's naked. And the naked energy in tarot is supposed to represent I'm stripped down to my authentic nature and I'm allowing myself to
Mm.
witness that. And it's in that witness that I impact the
Okay.
collective.
Okay. That's confirmation too, by the way, because
You
that's
guys are going
something
to do
we've been
something
talking
naked. I
about.
can tell.
Yeah, we're just gonna start a whole new show.
I love it.
Naked and authentic. Yes.
I'm tuning in.
No, no one's gonna wanna tune into that.
I
That's
beg.
cringe. That's
I
cringe.
Beg to differ. That's also a different podcast episode, maybe for a different
Yeah,
platform
that's not
even.
a podcast. That's not a podcast. This is me and Whitley. Okay, this is how we read tarot cards. All right, Whitley, you pull the cards. She pulls them. She checks Chat GPT. Then she'll message me, and she'll be like, "Can you pull cards too? I want to see if it aligns." And then I pull them,
Oh, that's sweet. That's
and then I
cute.
Chat GPT, and we compare notes. That's how we read.
Girl, you see why we need you in our life,
Okay,
Jess?
we'll have a little
Why we
practice.
need your
We're gonna have
readings.
a tarot
We
tutorial.
We don't read as detailed as you do. You're like, you see the Ouroboros on his thing? I don't know what that means.
I do say that.
All the time. You're like, see, this is the Ouroboros thing, but you tell the story, which
Yeah.
is, it makes so much sense to
so
you.
glad.
And then I'm like, I can't do that. I look at a card and I'm like, yeah, she looked naked. Like,
I love it.
that's
also
hard.
a reading. That's also a reading.
Yeah, but it's intuition, right? You got to read with the intuition, right? Like
That's
your
how-
intuition.
When I teach Tarot Academy, I do teach people, like, don't worry about the traditional meaning of the card. What do you see? Like, what
Right.
symbol is your eye brought to? And, like, talk
Oh.
about the symbol. Like, first
I
just
see it
start naming the
perfectly.
colors, the shape, what it is that you're observing. Because, like, when we're walking, when you do that rote thing of, like, I'm just saying what I see or what I happen to know about this card, you go into a
Oh my
rote
God.
flow, and that's when,
Yeah.
like, other shit's gonna come in that you
Yeah.
couldn't think of. It's just like, oh, that just came in. I couldn't have tried to pull that. That just, like, came out.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like your soul speaking. Like when you say, when you have a conversation with somebody, like Whitley and I have a conversation, sometimes it's like she'll ask me something and then I'll go into flow
Yeah.
and I'm rambling stuff that I don't remember that I said. And
Yeah.
she's like, you just said exactly what I
What I need to
needed.
hear. Like
That's it.
speaking to my soul almost.
Yeah, it's like when you can like center yourself and you speak through that, yeah, it comes out differently than when you use this, I find.
Yes.
Channeling, right? Like
Yeah.
a
Channel.
like a form
Like a
like
trust.
channeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for reading those cards, by the way.
Thanks, Jess.
I
Happy to.
always look forward to even tuning into we both do, your channel, and I know, like, you have such a community of people, like, I watch and I'm like,
They
"Wow,"
are
and
unbelievable.
yeah,
They're
unbelievable, like, they follow you, like, loyal, like, they're so loyal to you, but not I know that they're not loyal to you as in, like, putting you on a pedestal, but you give them what they need. You give them, you know, they can walk away and feel like, "Oh my gosh, I feel good." You know what I mean? You give them so much when you do that, and me too, like, I go on there and I get answers, I'm like, "Damn, confirmation again."
I'm so glad. I like I have to say this, I'm so grateful for this community that has evolved from this YouTube channel, and you guys are examples of that. I'm so grateful to meet people like you. It's genuinely a privilege. Oh no, hold on. Oh no. Sorry. It's like a testimony, like, take the leap, because your business and your content will actually end up healing you, maybe in, like, unexpected ways. That's why I'm getting emotional, is, like, the community that has come from what I'm doing, healed stuff that, like, I didn't really know or could verbalize, or, like, I just didn't realize. And meeting with you guys and, like, podcasting with you guys and DMing with you guys on Instagram, I'm like, this is a very pure joy. Like, I'm just so grateful. And all the HPs that, like, show up to events or have gone on retreat with me or just, like, go ham in the comments, it's just a different type of healing. So, like, build the business and create the content, because you don't know how, like, that actually might, in service of others, you might end up being healed yourself, and I just want to express my gratitude.
Be you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you always show up as yourself too, Jess, like, and thank you for being vulnerable with that. We honestly feel like we know you, but we don't, like, we feel like we know you. I don't know. I can't explain it. You probably get it.
It's like you connect with certain people and
Yeah.
you're like throughout your path and your journey you come in and like you just meet them, you're like, I feel like I've known this person a long time. But you're
Oh,
like, but how does that? Because
yeah.
you just met them, you know
But I
what I mean?
almost feel like it's
Yeah.
because you're authentic. It's because your
Mhm.
energy is so authentic that we're remembering you. in a sense.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make
Damn.
sense? Like, you're not
Wow.
performative, you're not being somebody else, you're being Jess.
Share. You just said something that like hit me. You too, Jess.
I'm dying. I'm dying.
Remembering.
That word is so important to me. You don't even know like what that was the word on the ayahuasca mat of like come home to you.
Mm.
Just all you have
Mhm.
to do is remember. So it's
Yeah.
wild that you're like mirroring that back, you know? It's a lovely thing.
Confirmation.
Mhm.
Confirmation. No.
I'm so glad I made it to the end.
Oh, I'm snotting. I'm
That's
snotting. Look at that. Snotting. It's okay. We can be snotters
I
together.
love it. You girls are the best. You girls keep me young.
Thanks,
Run.
Jess. And like, yeah, like what Sherry said too. Thanks for sharing, like being just that vulnerability, I think so that's what makes us human. And it's what makes us feel less alone in the world and more connected as well, is like when we share that humanness side of us that we all go through,
Yeah.
right? But it's not, I feel like vulnerability is a gift when
It's
we
the
share it.
best part. It's the best part of being human. So like
Yeah.
when you see it in someone else, like
Yeah.
appreciate it and like give yourself permission to do it too. It's the best part.
Permission. Permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Permission and remembering. Those are two.
Remember, I
Okay,
remember.
quick question, yes, before we take off. I really want to know, what was your 2026 word of the year? Are you
Oh,
allowed to share? Is this
yeah.
like okay.
Um, will you guys share if you have intentions or resolutions too?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So my word is immersion, meaning like
Ooh.
fully immersing, like it's going deeper.
Love
So I
that.
feel very fortunate that I stumbled across a bunch of things I really love over the last few years. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, girl, just go deeper. Like, you love dancing, we're going to go deeper with it. You love community building, we're going to go deeper with it. You love owning this business, we're going to go deeper and we're going to help other people do the same thing. You love these people that you're meeting from the internet, these strangers from the internet. I'm going to develop friendships with these people. Girls, guess what? I'm coming to Canada. Get your guest
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Come.
Yes. Are
Are you
are
joking?
you really?
I mean, since our last podcast, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go visit them, and I'm not inviting myself.
Yeah, you are.
It looks
Come.
like I am. It
We're
sure does.
inviting
There's
you.
already an
I'm not gonna
invitation.
gaslight you.
No, we're
I'm not.
inviting you.
But
You're
like,
coming.
I'm like, at some point, I'm going to meet you in person. I'm gonna go to Canada.
Are you in New York City or?
I'm outside of. I'm like 50 miles outside of the city now. I used to
Oh,
live in.
okay.
I used to live in Brooklyn. I used to teach in Harlem and Manhattan. I lived in Queens
Cool.
for like 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know all that. I thought you were like, apologize for my
It's okay.
geography.
Geography?
But
Keep your hands
Jersey, like
closed.
New Jersey, I know is like close to New York, but it's not New York,
Yeah, it's
right?
close.
New Jersey, Northern Jersey is the same thing as Long Island, and I'm on Long Island. And it's like, I say the
Oh.
same thing because it's the same accent, it's the same culture, it's very like Italian influenced, even if you're like Irish or Polish, it's like very Italian influenced, you know. Northern Jersey and Long Island, very, very similar way of life, you know. That's why I sound like this.
I love the accent. I love it. Do you
I wish
notice
I knew
ours?
you.
Like, do we
Yeah,
have
you
like
guys say cute words. You say OUT, you say that different, and it's very
out?
sweet.
Out?
Yeah.
Out?
It was like one of the first things you said when we hopped
What?
on today, and I was like, "Oh,
What
that's
do we
sweet."
say? How do we say
I
it?
can't even do it. It's like, uh, hold on. I can't even do it. You out? There's just a different
Yeah,
sound.
you got
Wait, how
it.
do you say it, Jess?
Out?
Out?
Out.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we're like out. Out.
Yeah, it's like your mouth just does a little something. It's like sweeter. Sweeter. How you say it? I don't know.
About.
About? Yeah,
Kept you, Jess, a well over 40 minutes over the time we had you scheduled, so we're sorry.
I'm honored.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Yeah.
guys.
Not
This
sorry.
this was my day. I was like, this is the day, and anything extra I do is a bonus.
Yeah, and I feel so much better. I don't feel like throwing up.
Oh my God, you're healed.
You're healed. We healed you. Have an amazing weekend ahead, and
Well, let's
we
close it
will.
off. Like, thank you, Jess, for coming
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead, Sherry. Sorry.
I was like, they're just gonna send me into the
This
wild
is
now.
my masculine. I can feel my
Yeah.
masculine energy is coming in. I'm being so honest right now,
It's
but
a
my
beautiful
masculine
gift.
energy is coming in where it's like, because I always keep things like on time. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, respect the other person's time. I'm like, oh, they got to go. Like, it's late. Like, literally, that's what my brain, all right, go ahead and you can close it off.
Okay. I don't want to. I can't do it.
I think this is the closer. Thank you so much for being with all of us. We're all being honest today. Thank you, Sherry, for your truth. Thank you, Whit, for your love. And remember, guys, we're all soul sisters. Bye.
Yeah,
I
thanks
love
for
it.
closing that out, Jess. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me play.
I love that so much. We're keeping this.
She is authenticity at its finest in
It
2026.
is.
We're done. I'm done.
We're done.
Okay, soul sister, pause what you're doing for just 1 second.
If you've been feeling disconnected from the old version of you, like you've outgrown old rooms, old ways of doing things, and doing everything alone, we see you.
And let's be real, social media doesn't give us real connection anymore. Support feels tied to algorithms, numbers, and who's, quote unquote, performing the best. We've been there too.
And we know this. Your brilliance, your impact, your voice deserves to be seen, validated, and celebrated.
And that's why we built the Soul Sisters community, a space for women who are done shrinking, evolve together side by side. Come experience monthly live calls with us, real conversations, collaboration, support, and sisterhood that actually fills your cup.
So, if you're ready to step into this new version of you and grow alongside women who get it, head to the link in our show notes and come join us.
Because expansion looks better together.